There's three aspects to bridge. There's obviously declare a play, defence and bidding. Only on two of those your partner matters. Declare a play, that's a self-taught thing. When you're looking at a new partnership, it's all about bidding and defence.
I'm here today with Steve Raine. Steve, can you give everybody a little bit of your background? How did you get into bridge?
I've been playing bridge since I got taught when I was about 8, and I've been playing since I was about 14. I used to help, my dad used to do night classes, he was a bridge teacher. I used to go along in case he needed extra numbers, and I would sit there doing my homework, listening off the chance or whatever. And then when I had to play, I'd just go and beat all these old people who were learning for the first time. My dad took me along to the bridge club, and then I got hooked, and I've been here ever since. I've played for England junior team, and if you can't tell, I am English. I've been playing for, 25 years probably at clubs and things.
Did you play at university then as well, or?
I did. My university had a team. It wasn't very good. I was the only one with any sort of calibre, but there was a university knockout I did. I didn't really do too much at university, but I played national events throughout university and things like that.
What is the English junior program like?
I can't say what it's like now, necessarily.
Maybe you should get involved.
So
Although you do a lot. I think
yeah.
everybody should be doing something, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because you're doing the same thing that I'm very interested in, which is getting bridge seen visually out on social media and YouTube and other places so people can find our great game.
There's a guy called Daniel Negron who's a poker player who every time he goes to the World Series does like a World Series vlog every day. He goes along with his camera, shows waking up in breakfast and having a coffee and driving in and thinking about thoughts. And then for the second half of the video, he does poker hands. He says he comes over and gives all information about a poker hand and says, this is what you do, this is what, and this is probably what you need to do. This is probably why you need to call or fold or whatever. Right. And I thought that's a really good idea. So I thought, I'll give it a go. And I found effectively
all of us other content creators bow down that you are doing it, because it is very difficult.
It is, yeah. It's time consuming, difficult, and it's a cost. It's got a slight personal cost to it, because you're here at an event where you've got lots of friends and you're spending your time doing this. So you're actually losing, and I feel the same as well. Yeah. It's a bit of it isn't just a free thing you can do, record as you're going. You have to sit there and you have to think about, oh, I've just played this board, would that be a good one to video? And I've got to keep it in my mind and then go away 5 minutes, 10 minutes later when I've got some time and record a hand. And you're doing this to popularize the game you love, really.
Right. Yeah, so that's the thing, is it is a bit of a personal cost to us, so. But it is also, we're doing it because we love the game. And I think every young person that comes into this game falls in love with it. And trying to explain to people, once you find bridge, all other games are going to pair in comparison. Yeah. And I'm a little older than you. I was on the internet before there was an internet, and I went to engineering school, and I was a huge gamer. And you can look this up later, but I was on Alex Mud, which was the first of the MUDs out of Sweden. And I was a grand wizard, and I actually made the worlds and controlled what people could do. I've been into games for a very long time myself, and I know the power of the internet and how that all works. And yeah, I think we can all give back in our own way. And I was making fun of you about helping the junior team, but I think what you're doing now is much more important. And I know we all love watching your vlogs.
Thank you very much.
I think, it's my other thing is I would love to see 100 of us creators and all doing our own personal kind of shtick with it. Yeah. And mine is more the interview type stuff that I'm doing. And so.
I did it because no one was doing it at the time. I thought, I'll give it a go. I'll see what I can do. I'll go and do one day. And then I actually went home that evening, edited it and put it on YouTube and showed my friends, and they all loved it. I carried on doing it. Yeah. But obviously if it didn't go well, I'm like, I tried. But the fact that people do want to watch that sort of stuff is good. Even people better than me watch it. Matt Brown watches it. He watches pretty much every one. And even though the decisions from his point of view are much easier than I think it's a hard decision, he doesn't, but he still watches it and engages it. And it's important for there to be some bridge content for every ability of bridge player, I think.
Yes.
People who want to learn system, there's something there. People who want to see what live events are like or what, there's stuff there. People who just want to practice playing with robots online, there's stuff there as well. Yeah. And there was a gap in terms of live bridge experience. I think, wasn't there?
There was definitely a gap. And one of the things that I'm working on and doing a lot of clips here, some of them will be out in the ACBL as well, is breaking it down for a brand new player. You want to come to a nationals?
Yeah.
What is that like? You saw me, I was working with one of the directors, breaking down the solaway. I'm going to be working on that aspect of the game, is trying to make it more accessible for people, because it's intimidating. I tried to explain to people when I first came and played bridge, it was intimidating to walk into a tournament. There's no real great explanation of what to do, where to go, how the events work.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to figure it out. So,
or have a partner who's done it before, maybe. But if you're coming with two fresh-faced people, I can imagine that would be daunting.
Yeah, and actually, I've been playing bridge now close to 20 years, but when I first started, I moved in with my husband, and I played spades online, and he found out that I not only played spades, but I played spades in an environment there was tens of thousands of people playing, and I was ranked in the top 50. Yeah. And he's like, "Do you know bridge?" And my husband had actually started playing bridge in the 60s, and he had gone on and off again, and he had a first wife and 2 kids, and didn't play for a long period of time. And we went online, and I eventually found BBO. I think I started Yahoo Bridge or whatever. Yeah. But eventually we went to the library, got me bridge books, found BBO, and I played on BBO a couple of years before I ever joined the ACBL. Okay. This is the thing I try to explain to everyone. I was pregnant in my early 30s, played bridge, was never professionally taught.
Yeah, self-taught. That's good.
I've had to unteach myself a lot of things, and I have a lot of very good friends that have helped me along my journey. I wouldn't say I'm completely self-taught, but we all find our way here, and I think there's a lot of gamers that would be very interested in this game because it's fascinating.
I agree.
So tell me, I have my own thoughts of why it's so exciting, but explain, you guys are in the nail.
Yep.
And we had how many pairs yesterday?
264.
And what spot are you currently in?
We're currently 8th, so we had a really good day yesterday. It's good.
Yeah, I think we gave you some good boards yesterday.
It was 1 each, I think, actually.
Yeah. We were giving some gifts yesterday, and I think we were probably we were a quarter of a board from qualifying for day 2.
Yeah.
So there's 1,000 things that could have done better.
Yeah, so bridge for me, can't learn a board. Every board's different. You can learn principles and techniques and so on. And every given board, it isn't guaranteed that the normal way to play it is the right way to play it. You've not only got to learn when to take a finesse and when not to take a finesse. You've got to learn, is it right to do it on this board given he's done that and she's done that and he's got no clubs or whatever. Yeah. You're analysing every single board, and it's also different. If you're looking at some of the other thinky games like chess and so on, there's a lot of pre-prescribed moves.
Have to do it this way.
Yeah, you have to do it this way.
You have to do it that way. In bridge,
and if you don't,
so grey.
Yeah, if you don't, you give up a position. So there is a right move. In bridge, there probably is still a right move, but the right move isn't a move you can just learn from a textbook. You have to be able to work it out there and then on every given hand. Bridge is also a social game.
You also have the people that you're playing against is going to matter. Your own partners. Each partner we have is going to be very different. My friend Michael, he's a very aggressive player. I had a hand yesterday. He opened a weak 2 vulnerable in first seat. I had a 17 count with a singleton ace in his suit.
I remember the hand, yeah. And
I passed. We were playing against good players, and they looked at me. But I know my friend Michael.
Yeah.
There was probably...
He had 6 small, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and there was like a 5... Was it a 5-0 break or something?
Yeah, it was 5-0 break, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't have 6 small, but he didn't have a good hand. I doubled 4 spades with the 5 spades, yeah, I remember that hand.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, each partner's different. When you're in a new partnership as well, this is for more technical bridge plays, you want to be asking not what your system you're playing, but then when you finish sorting out your system, you say, okay, how many 11 counts do you open? What's the style of your week 2s? Because if you don't ask those questions and then partner opens a week 2 and their style is different to yours, you will do the wrong thing. I don't mind what style we play, but if my partner doesn't open 11 counts, neither will I. I know he hasn't got one, and at least you've asked that question. But I bet there are a lot of questions like that. What do you do? What do you do with 4 in the minors? What do you open? There isn't always a default there, is there?
There's some great guides once you get into the game where people have broken down, these are the 60 questions. If you're really working on a partnership, one of my advice that I give to everyone, or if you're going to play with me, I want a simple card when we start, I can do all the conventions in the world, but I want a pretty simple card when we start, see how that chemistry is at the table. Because I think that matters so much. And a lot of what I've been doing too is the partnerships of the game. And I think what can be difficult if you're going to be playing at the high levels is those pairs that have been playing together 10, 15, 20 or more years have a definite advantage over the field.
Definitely.
Just because they've worked out all of those idiosyncrasies of style.
There's 3 aspects to bridge. There's obviously declare a play, defense, and bidding. Only on 2 of those your partner matters. Declare a play, that's a self-taught thing. When you're looking at a new partnership, it's all about bidding and defense. And bidding, I don't really care. But if I can't defend with my partner, you're sometimes on a different wavelength. They're switching when they shouldn't or whatever, and you're not quite on the same wavelength. It's very difficult to remedy that. Without one person saying, you need to do it my way. Instead of you need to do it my way, do I need to do it your way? And it's very difficult. So it's much easier to play with someone if you're fundamentally on the same defensive wavelength. You can talk about bidding later. Bidding is something you can just make agreements on and learn the system you're playing. But defense is a very natural thing from my point of view. And I've played with people who are very good people who, when we defend, it just doesn't go well for whatever reason, one way or another. And we're just thinking about it different ways. And I don't really want to...
Sometimes it's like a beautiful dance. You're with somebody and you just defend beautifully together. And then other times you play with somebody and you are fighting opposite the table, right? And that's the thing is so often, don't you find that people get it stuck in their head? I was trying to do this and my partner didn't do it. And then they fight with them instead of going, oh, my partner's doing something. Maybe I should think in my head of why my partner's doing that and follow their lead and dance with them.
And if that doesn't work, at least you're on the same page and your partner won't feel bad for doing it.
And you can discuss it not at the table, but later that evening.
I had a story when I first went to my nationals. We were sharing a flat with lots of people, and one partnership came back, and they argued every night about things. And they came back one night. Steve, answer this question for me. I led a spade against Dina Thompson. My partner got in and switched to a heart. When I won, I played another spade, and then when he won again, he played another heart. And then when I won my next trick, I played another spade. Like, who's wrong here? Who should be? You know,
both.
Both of you.
Both.
Like that's just mad.
Assholes.
But they were both. Who was right? I'm like, well, you both are.
Yeah.
Like if partner insists on one thing, you just got to trust them and do it, because the worst thing you can do is bicker in defense, because it'll never work.
Right. As you just said, defense is half the game.
Half your partnership game anyway.
Yeah, and the camaraderie at the table and the energy that you bring together can really make or break.